Good one, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Daily Energy. It is Lead You Tether de Deus. Lead You Tether de Deus. It is the 30th day of July. It is a day of endings, beginnings, decision making, abundance, and selflessness. Okay. Some things that you want to do today, we want to do, is realize your vision, expect financial gain, reconcile differences, take advantage of opportunity, release perceived imperfections, value the things money cannot buy, forgive the past, focus on seeing with eyes of love, focus on your vision. I'm going to say that again because I was about to say focus on seeing with eyes of love again. Watch what you say, cultivate interest in growth, feel whole and aligned, release negative emotions, express yourself artistically, make progress, nurture your mind, acquire knowledge, new knowledge, okay? Because knowledge is power, okay? But knowledge is power because of what you do with that knowledge. Knowledge is power, but knowledge is the Father. Knowledge is God. So with God, the Father, you have access to a whirlpool of knowledge. You have access to the Akashic records. So with that type of knowledge, you are powerful. But if you know, like I know, then you know that that's not the type of knowledge that you want to abuse, because if you abuse this type of knowledge, then you will be shut out of it. Uh-huh. All right. So focus on emotional well-being. Some things that you do not want to do. You do not want to be foolish with money. You do not forget where you come from. Sometimes, I'm going to tell you that sometimes it's okay for you to forget where you come from when where you come from prevents you from getting to where it is that you need to be. Some people use where they come from as an excuse. They say, well, um, I can't go to school because my mama didn't go to school, my daddy didn't go to school, or I can't go to school because I live on the farm and I'm homeschooled. I can't go to school because of whatever reasons, right? People find excuses about the reasons why they can't do anything. I like when God first told me a long time ago. Well, I say a long time ago, but I'm only 41. But God told me when I was how old was I? I was still in my teens. I think I was like 17 around this time. And I was in my junior year of school, of high school, and like he told me to like basically step outside of my comfort zone. And outside of my comfort zone was advanced classes. And so at the time, I was in content mastery. And I would always tell God what I could not do, tell Father what I could not do, based on my insecurities of being in content mastery when I was younger. You know, I'd be like, I can't do that, especially when he told me to do this or to speak or, to like get up and lead. But he's like, I've been training you for this ever since you were a little girl. And I never even noticed that he's always trained me for where it was that he was getting ready to take me. And I never realized it until I realized that, although I was in content mastery, I had teachers that picked me out of everybody else to like do certain things like one act. And I remember I was in debate one time, several times. And I was always chosen for these things, and I never understood it because I was in content mastery. And still to this day, I still don't have the most eloquent speech. But yet, and still, I know now that I'm not going to allow any of that to hold me back, And I noticed that when I just started embracing this thing, um, that I stopped saying, well, I was in content mastery. That's making an excuse. That's making an excuse when you say, like I say, when they say nobody's perfect, that's making an excuse to not strive for perfection. Yes, I was in content mastery. Yes, I don't have the most elaborate speech. Yes, I say ain't from time to time because ain't is a word. It's in the dictionary. Look it up, boo. Yes. I have that thing with my voice sometimes that I stumble over my word just like Moses. But that's what he said. He said, you know what? Moses didn't have the most elaborate speech either, but I chose Moses. Okay, so it's just like that. God saveth whom he chooses, and he chose you for a reason, regardless of that difference. He made you different for a reason. Don't you know that a lot of people that are chosen, they don't have the most elaborate speech? They don't have the most elaborate background. Think of some of the people that walked with Jesus. They didn't have the most elaborate backgrounds, but he chose them nonetheless. And the reason why he chose them nonetheless is because he knew that they knew what it was like. And so that he put them in a position to be compassionate, because he knew that they had the heart for the work that they were here to do. They had the heart because they had the struggle. See, when you have the struggle, you have the heart. You see somebody on the street hungry, you don't just walk past that person. You know the struggle. You know what it is that they're really going through. You know how it is to sleep on some cold concrete. So you will stop to give 50 cents, a dollar, $5, $20, $100. You will give what you can when you can, because you know what it's like to be that man or to be that woman. So, yeah, baby, you might not have the most elaborate background, but you have the passion, you have the drive, you have the experience. You might not be book smart, but you're God smart. You may not be experienced in school, but you are experienced in the streets. Okay, you might not be trained in how to pray, but you know how to talk to God like God is your father, like God is your brother, your sister, your auntie, your uncle, your cousin. You know how to talk to God, and that is what God wants you to have, is a relationship with him. You know how to have a relationship with God. That is what's important. That's what makes you chosen. That's what makes you unique. He knew what you could do. He knows what you can do, regardless of what you think you can do. He knows. You know, I say I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't do that. That was an insecurity, because I felt like I couldn't be myself, because I felt like I would not be accepted once people know the truth about me. And the truth is of me is that I am able to see what others do not see. I'm able to know what others do not know. And a lot of times that made a people in my past afraid of me, and that became my insecurity. But don't let your gift become your insecurity. Your gift is to make room for you, not to keep you from moving, okay? Your gift is not here to stunt you. Your gift is here to help you. Your gift is here to help you get to the next level, because you are here for a time such as this. Your gift is in you for a time such as this. So by you not utilizing the gift that God has given you, that is you stunting the future, in a sense, okay? The progress of the future, because you are here to ensure the changes of the world. You are here to make the difference. You are here to make sure the world goes where it needs to go, and that's to its betterment. And sometimes medicine don't taste good, okay? Sometimes medicine don't taste good. Dogs run from it, children run from it. Everything seems to run from the things that are good for them. Sometimes you can have a good woman that's good for you, but you don't want that good woman, because it's something about her. It's too good. And that's the same for a good man. It's too good. It's too good to be true. So you don't want that medicine because it looks funny. You don't want that medicine because it makes your taste bud, it makes the pleasure senses, because what you need oftentimes is not pleasurable. Sometimes what you need is uncomfortable at first. Uh-huh. Until you start realizing that it's good for you. And then when you start realizing that it's good for you, mm, 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 then you start knowing how to go get the very thing. See, that's a child running for medicine. But once that child realized that that medicine is good, when it gets older, it knows how to go back to the medicine, okay? So that's like not forgetting where you come from, right? See, where you come from can be medicine. It could be a wake up call. It could be an ego check, you know. It's like I have to check my ego sometimes to remember where I come from. But however, I had to leave home so that I wouldn't let where I come from stop me from where I'm going. So that's why you got to be willing to leave mother, daddy, sister, auntie, brother, uncle, cousin to pursue the journey that God is getting ready to take you on so that you can learn the lessons that he wants to teach you. Remember, I was telling you yesterday how um I didn't tell you the full story, but when I was first called, I went to a local pastor, well, my pastor, and I told him that I was called. And he looked at me like I had boo boo on my face. I was young. I think I was still in my teens at that time. And he basically looked at me like I had boo boo on my face. And I didn't know that it was because I was a woman. And shortly after that, that's when, I started just going in line with, with word for word scripture. I needed to know it for myself. So I've done read it 10 times for myself, maybe 20, maybe 30 times. So when I say I know that I know, I know that I know. All right. I have an understanding that a lot of people don't have. Now, I'm not the only person that has this understanding, but I have an understanding. So I understand, and because I am a writer of scripture, I understand that when Paul says, I suffer it to be not so, that women shouldn't do this and women shouldn't do that. Okay, women shouldn't preach and when women shouldn't teach. When Paul says, if you read his work, there are certain times when he lets you know, now this is me. And then there are certain times when he lets you know that this is God. All right, speaking. And before he said anything about a woman doing anything, he said, I suffer it to be not so. That was his opinion. That's not what God gave him to say. He's letting you know that okay, if it was God, he would have said God, but he said, I suffer it to be not so. All right, read Paul's work and read it thoroughly, and you will see that he differentiates when it's God and when it's him. And then when it's all said and done, he said that he's not that it's not to hurt, it's not to hinder in a sense. Now I'm paraphrasing this, but I'm not paraphrasing this part. He says, by faith you stand. He didn't say, men, by faith you stand. He said, by faith you stand. Okay, it's not to hinder the word, but he was letting you know how he felt about a situation. So know the difference. That's why it's so important for you to thoroughly comb through and read the scriptures that you're reading, and take the full story. Not just, it's about in its entirety. Take the overall message, not just a little bit here and a little bit there so that you can run with it and make it say what you want it to say. It's not about that. It is about the heart of the matter. Get to the heart of the matter. And the heart of the matter is Jesus was real. And Jesus is real. That's the heart of the matter. Now, I call him somebody, I call him by another name. You call him Jesus. That's why I keep saying the one that you call Jesus, because I know Jesus by many names. Okay. All right. But Jesus Christ, that it's, if you're going to call him Jesus, don't just stop at Jesus, call him Jesus Christ, because there's more power in Jesus Christ than just Jesus alone. Because if you know, like I know, then you know there's more power in Jesus Christ than just the word Jesus alone. Okay. I'll tell you about that another time, but that's not for you right now. So I'm not going to tell you of why. But but here's the thing. So it's getting to the heart of the matter, right? And that's why it's so important that you do not forget where you come from. Because I had to circle back because I was going on that tangent. Do not be moody. Do not be negative. Do not be um, do not get comfortable in resentment. Do not get comfortable in resentment. And just do not get too comfortable, anyways. Because if you get too comfortable, then you start, um, you start um, not want resisting change. When you get too comfortable, you start resisting change. So don't get too comfortable in any situation. Because when you get too comfortable, that's when change comes in to shake some things up. And the more you resist that change, the more powerful and forceful it becomes. Okay. So do not blame, do not complain, do not be judgmental, do not neglect family. All right. Also, do not forget where you come from. See, you had to walk away from family, friends, and so on in order for you to really explore and get to know and see the world for what it was. And you can learn and get inspiration out of the world. But once you became successful, it's time for you to reach back to those that helped you to get to where you are. All right. So I always think about that, that was my plan and my goal when I set out, to be able to reach back and to give to those, like I said, of course, my mama, my daddy, my Aunt Brenda, my mama Cynthia, my mama Granny, my mama Lena, my Aunt Tina, my Aunt BJ, which was more like a mother to me, so all of these people, these are the people that really, really, really made a difference in my life. Some of them, okay, there's more, but these are the ones that rocked me from the child on up. They were my they held the shelf that I stood on to grab my green beans, so to speak, because I loved green beans growing up. I'll tell you about that story about what happened to me later. Okay, so they held the shelf for me. Okay, but it's like some of them are still living, but a lot of them are passed on. Okay, and so I'm not able to reach back like I wanted to reach back. But see, they're not looking at it in that aspect, and I'm gonna try not to cry. They're looking at it as in I was looking to give back to them, but they were looking to give and pour into me. They had something to share with me, and so I am their legacy. Okay, I am a part of their legacy because what they poured into me, I go and I pour into somebody else. A lot of the stuff that I teach y'all is some of the stuff that they taught me. So it's not always about you giving back financially, but it's giving your time and letting them know that you love them, letting them know that you ain't forgot about them. Sometimes they just want a phone call. I made that mistake with my Aunt Brenda. You know, I thought that, well, it's not that I thought that she didn't want to hear from me. It was like I thought that I could not go back empty handed. I could not go back empty handed. I set out to do something. And even to this day, I still feel like I cannot go back empty handed, but I didn't go back empty handed. But by the time I got back, she was gone. You see? So don't waste time, okay? Don't waste time. All right. So don't neglect family. Do not be over materialistic. Do not neglect emotions. Do not explode with anger. Do not be a workaholic. All right. If you explode with anger, it's like, do you know, remember, some of y'all have seen the five heartbeats. All right. So there's this movie called The Five Heartbeats. It's one of the the it's one of my favorite movies. And and so there's this song, and they're like doom 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 shoo doo doo doom 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 just in case. Mm. I think that's the one. But so anyways, so there's two brothers, and they end up getting into it. Why? I'm tired of you. I'm tired of you. What do you say? I'm tired of you wearing my clothes, and I'm tired of you taking all my women, or something like that. I don't know. They had this big commotion, and then it's like and then they start just ripping each other's clothes off right there in the stage in front of everybody. And then so the manager is watching, and he's like, and they're fighting, rolling back and on stage, and he's like, and so basically he taught them how to use that, um, how to pivot and how to use that to their benefit. And so next time they did it, it looked like that they were about to fight again. But when they started uh taking their clothes, I was like, break down. And then they started taking their clothes off. They changed into a whole different thing, and it became a gimmick, and so it's kind of like that. You want to use it and pivot it, use it as something, make it something useful, okay, without going on and on. Make it something that you can use. When I was going through all of those emotions with the loss of my child, and dealing with, some resentment that I had in my past, I started to write. And that's some of the stuff that you're reading now. I started to write, and to turn all of my feelings and my emotions into something useful, not just for myself, but for somebody else. Okay. So let me get into the things to remember. All right. Remember, money cannot buy you love. Buy me love. Money can't buy me love. Buy me love. Said it can't buy. Black Street. Oh, I love that. I love that group. You say you don't want no diamond rings, and I'll be satisfied. Tell me if you want these kind of things that money just can't buy. I may not have. Oh, that is my jam. Y'all don't know nothing about that, okay? Um, And so I think somebody else might have wrote it before them, or sung it before them, but that's my jam, okay? Oh, I'm gonna listen to me some Black Street today, okay? Black Street and LSG. All right, y'all don't know nothing about that little Burl Sweat and Gill, do you? That is my. I'm an '80s baby, okay? I was born in the '80s, but yes, honey, that is my jam. I just went back somewhere, okay? I just went back, okay? I had to remember where I came from. All right. So money cannot buy you love. All right. Remember, you are one of a kind. Remember, reality is created with thoughts, words, and actions. Remember, your heart's desire attracts. So, what you think about, you will attract to you. Remember, you are worthy and deserving of prosperity. Remember, you live in abundant universe, so the abundant universe will provide. Okay. Remember to fill your space with light and love. I watched the Gospel of Clarence, and it's really a good movie, okay? Regardless of what you think, it really has some good plugs in there, okay? Really a good movie. Especially, I love the ending, but because it was like they kept saying, this person don't believe in God, believe in God. And one day he said, I do believe in God. He was putting on this facade and this faking the funk this whole time, acting, making it seem like he didn't believe in God. But in truth and reality, that searching that he was doing, he was searching, okay, asking, seeking, knocking, okay. At one point he said that, he was going to be the new Messiah. But he found God in the process. Okay. But anyways, so um it has some really good plugs in there. All right. But I remember when the mother said, you are, she told him, you are not the shadow, you are the body. And she said something along, hold space. Oh, baby. Ooh, that was powerful. Okay. You are not the shadow, you are the body. Hold space. My goodness. All right. All right, so remember to fill your space with light and love. Remember, forgiveness is for you. Remember, there is always something to be grateful for. All right, remember to count your blessings. All right, remember when I told you, I said, I bet not complain at this time, about what God is not doing for me here, there. I can't even do that. Okay, because I went from living on the streets, sleeping on some cold concrete. Now I'm living in a house and I got 14.5 acres. So I have everything I need to do what I must. Okay, because God put me here to do it. So I bet not complain. All right, it might be snakes roaming around here, but I bet not complain about those snakes, because some people don't have snakes that have land for snakes to roam to complain about. I bet not complain about being in this wilderness, because I'm in this wilderness and some people are in the desert. See, I'm in this wilderness. That means I got a lot of shade. I got a covering in this wilderness, whereas some people are in these hot deserts. Uh-huh. They're in the desert with scorching heat and no water. They have to dig, 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 dig for some water. They got to be crafty. But he said, you're already done with that portion. Let me get you to this wilderness. You're out of the valley. Let me get you to this wilderness where I'm going to cover you and keep you safe. Because even if a bird were to fly, it'd be hard for him to see you. The wickedness in the high places, okay? The wickedness in the high places. It's hard for them to see you in this wilderness. Because they don't know where to find you. So don't look at your wilderness as um me trying to hurt you. Your wilderness is not me trying to hurt you. Your wilderness is me trying to get you there. Okay, it's me keeping you safe. It's me providing sustenance for you in the wilderness. Okay, because if you're in the wilderness, then you know that you have all the resources you need. You have, if there's a tree, that means that there's water, because there must be water for the trees to grow. That's why there's not a lot of trees in the desert, because the desert doesn't have everything you know that the trees need to grow. Okay, it doesn't have the rich soil. Okay, it doesn't have all of the amendments, okay, that you have in the forest. Okay, the forest, in the fall, when the leaves hit the ground, it starts to break down and become compost, and then seeds fall, when the wind blows and it shakes things up. When that happens, those seeds fall to the ground in the soil, and then it produces a new tree. And so some of those seeds are fruit. Okay, so now you got fruit in the forest. You got fruit in your wilderness. You got water in your wilderness. You got wood in your wilderness. If you got wood, then it means you got everything that you need. See, you might not have a lot of metal. Okay, you got to look, but you might not have a lot of metal. You got plenty of medical in there, because the world, the nature provides. But I like watching those videos of ancient technology videos on YouTube, and I watch how they do things overseas, and I see them uh they don't have any kind of tools, metal tools. They're using wood as hammers, and they're using wood and rocks. That's what they're using to build stuff. And they build some of the most beautiful things. Do you know that some of the temples that are still to this day, um, that you're able to see and that are still standing, they were built with wood and rocks? So you have what it takes to do what you must, okay? So count your blessings. Remember you are y- remember your emotions are trying to tell you something. Remember to see beyond the physical and material. Remember worth can come in small packages, and shit can come in big ones. Ooh, child. Did I just say that? Yes, I did. Worth can come, I already said it. Worth can come in small packages, and shit can come in big ones. Let me say that again because I already said it. Worth can come in small packages, and shit can come in big ones. So, the worth that comes in small package, you think about somebody, okay? Let's say your boyfriend decides to pop the question to you, but before he got to you, everything seemed to go wrong, and all of a sudden he drops the ring in the sewer. But he loves you so much that he went in the sewer and got the ring, and he didn't have time to go and get a new ring box, so he just kept it in that same box. And so when he got guy gave you this dirty nasty ring box, at first you was like, "Ugh," but then all of a sudden he popped it open and you saw that worth, that ring, that value, that commitment that was in that box. You saw that and you was like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. you know all right, so that's the thing. All right. Worth can come in small, dirty packages, but shit can come in big ones. Okay. You think you're doing good when you meet this celebrity, or you think you're good when you get this big fancy job, but you don't know that they're doing underhanded stuff behind the scenes. You don't know that they're gonna try to beat you till you black and blue. Uh-huh. That's that shit that comes in a big package, all right? So remember, money can grant you privilege, but not immortality. Okay. There's certain things that money can get you. Okay. So you need goals, exploration, ambition, comfort to release. You need a prosperous mind to flourish and grow. You need to survive and succeed. You need to rest when you're tired. You need honesty to be clear and balanced, okay? You need to surrender your need to control. Some things you have no control over, and that's that wake up call when you're trying to resist change, and change comes slap you in the face and say, "Wake up!" Okay, that's that wake up call. To let that actually hurt. To let go. Told y'all I was a little cray cray. To let go and trust. You need to overcome resentment, inspiration to acknowledge emotions, and to challenge yourself. You need a different perspective, some ways to be practical, be relatable, be reliable, be free from toxicity, be central, be intelligent, be intuitive, devoted, and empathic. Okay, be a leader, confident, and a team player. Now look, if you were born on today, happy birthday. If you were born on today, that means you don't like to play games, boo. You straight to the point. You're successful, you're good at what you do, but you don't like to play games. But sometimes, just have fun, all right? Balance work and play, okay? Be organized, be analytical, but don't overanalyze, all right? I don't look at me, I'm talking, but sometimes I do it too. Be considerate, be creative, be generous, and be powerful in your own right. Okay, words of the day. Okay, so not very many today. We have intimidated because we do have, successful people coming to the forefront, celebrities, wealth, material, star. So celebrities take the forefront today and over the news. A lot of celebrity news might happen, and so a lot of people are intimidated by celebrities, and this is a lot to do with, um pleasure. Okay, celebrities a lot of times, fire nation, pleasure. Okay, those who a lot of times they're pleasure seeking, they want the good things out of life, they're thrill seeking, they don't like to be bored, and there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, um and so a lot of people are intimidated by uh the celebrities. And so, but it is a pleasure when you come across certain celebrities, because certain celebrities are more than what meets the eye. All right, so understand that. Optimistic. All right, be optimistic about life. A lot of, pleasure, optimistic. Be optimistic about your future. Be optimistic about life. Okay, optimistic coming in. Confront. So some celebrities might be confronted in the news. You're gonna see this take place. I mean, celebrities are gonna get uh the roses, and celebrities are going to get their karma. All right, that's what I'm seeing. Solidify, and as long as not none of mine, we good to go. Don't mess with my friend The Rock. We good to go. Don't mess with my mother, sister Beyonce. We good to go. All right. So don't mess with mine, okay? And we be good to go. You mess with mine, then we gonna have a problem, because I'm gonna come find you in your sleep. All right. No, I'm just playing. No, I'm not. I'm serious. All right. So confront is a word of the day. Solidify is a word of the day. Okay. Now there's another one of mine, and you sure better not mess with him. You mess with him, I'm gonna find you in your sleep. I'm gonna find you in your waking life. I'm gonna find you wherever you at if you mess with mine. Okay. That one, all hands off. Okay. Don't mess with mine. Do not mess with mine. All right. Solidify. Okay. Transform, end, mourn, arrange, finish. Okay. So end, mourn, arrange, and finish. That right there is like saying that there's some people that's gonna lose some people today, or some people transitioned into the transformed into the spirit world. Okay, so hearts go out to you at this time, my friend. And you know, yeah, you're gonna be in my thoughts and prayers. Okay, take your time to mourn. Go at your pace. All right. So yeah, so that's why we get that energy here. Buy is a word of the day. So because we have celebrity energy, we're going to see a lot of people. You're going to even be wanting to buy things. People are going to be bragging about what they have, flaunting their cars and their wealth and all of that. Just know that that's a temporary thing. Just know that that is a temporary thing. All right. So affirmation. So affirmation is I understand. No, affirmation is I am understanding, and understanding there are things money cannot buy. I am understanding and understand that there are things money cannot buy. Okay. The journal prompt is I understand. Okay. The moon phase is the waning crescent moon. The emo check is feeling like there is never enough to do enough is a cause of stress. Take some time to go over your spending habits and adjust your budget accordingly to improve your financial well being. All right. So, some things that you may receive unexpected money. You may see someone in need of assistance. You may experience an ending. You may have an argument. You may misunderstand or be misunderstood. But I said what I said. You mess with mine, especially that one. I will come and I will find you in your sleep. I will come and I find you in your waking life. There will be consequences for the actions, okay? I will find you in the spirit where I may not be able to find you in the flesh. Do not touch mine, okay? I will find you, all right? And that is a promise, okay? It is a day to be selfless. So don't misunderstand that, because I mean that. I mean that. Hands off of mine. All right. So it is a day of endings, beginnings, decision making, abundance, and selflessness. Okay. All right. So I love you. Goo bleh one. Hearts go out. Take care of yourself and each other. You get a heart. You get a heart. You get a heart. Hearts go out.